Yo, in today's video, we'll be looking at creepy TikTok conspiracy theories that will make you question reality.
Can I blow your mind right now? Okay, where did the moon come from? Let that sink in.
The Earth.
So, scientists can't agree on the origin of the moon or its purpose. The only thing they can agree on is the fact that it's younger than the Earth, which means at some point the moon arrived. Now, as far as we can tell, the moon serves no purpose. It has no atmosphere, it can't sustain life. And Earth is the only planet in the solar system that has only one moon. But what if the arrival of the moon wasn't some cosmic accident? What if it was an act of benevolence? What if the moon was given to us by a, let's just call it, race of hyper-intelligent beings from beyond the reaches of our planet?
It's a Death Star. What y'all think? Yo, the moon, it kind of trips me out because what is truly a perfect circle? Like, think about it in our universe, right? If the moon was just a rock that, I don't know, somehow made it to Earth's atmosphere and now is somehow perfectly in Earth's orbit, how is it that it's a perfect circle and just lines up perfectly with the sun that's supposed to be millions of light years away? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Y'all let me know where y'all think the moon came from.
The darkest conspiracy theories ever. The Bob Ross theory. Bob Ross was a famous painter on television. The theory claims that Bob Ross is actually a serial killer. It's because of one of his paintings. It's called Happy Little Accidents, which depicts an exact crime scene where 5 bodies were found. What do you think about this theory?
Bob Ross looked like the restaurant owner and they cloned Tyrone.
There's a big conspiracy about who the real victims are when it comes to the riverfront brawl
snap.
in
Montgomery
Alabama.
brawl.
And I'm the next person. Guys,
Montgomery
make sure
brawl.
you hit the plus sign, sound up in the comments, tell me what you think. I'll let you look and we'll discuss.
A woman has been hit with a folding chair, and the internet is laughing. We are the problem. I just want to take a second to say that I think that what happened was egregious, and I think that it should be the highlight nobody is talking about. Nobody wants to stop and really reflect and think about how terrifying and traumatic that it must have been to be in that situation. Like, can you guys really just stop for a second? Stop with the jokes, stop with all the BS back and forth, and just really take a second to think about how difficult it must have been. How terrifying it must have been to be that damn chair. That beautiful chair was minding its business, doing a job.
It's her laugh for me, y'all. It's the laugh. Yo. Hey, I did not expect that, though.
Job, and the next thing you know, it's hitting something useless in the side of the head. And nobody's talking about it. Nobody's thinking about how that chair must feel right now to know that there's a gigantic dent in the place that should have been for sitting, and now it's for thinking. I think it was Martin Luther King who once said that a chair is the greatest gift a man could have.
What do you guys think now that the real victim has been exposed?
That's
Sound
crazy.
up in the comments and click the plus sign. I've got more.
Shout out to that chair. You a legend now.
I'm not saying people can't look alike, but when you take a now famous person and compare them to a painting of a famous person in the past, and they look exactly alike with the same medical conditions, it really raises an eyebrow.
This dude immortal.
And it's crazy how an old
Yo.
painting or poster can really capture the essence of someone's personality.
That's
You could
true.
have guessed who that was without a comparison. You don't see it though? An old king of Spain and Mark Zuckerberg? Okay. Damn, Justin, you should grow that beard out again. This is one I know a lot
Now that
of people
look just
have
like
seen.
Jay-Z.
Tell me it doesn't look like him though. Doppelganger, clone, vampire, I don't know. All I know... Oh, damn, that explains a lot.
Whoa.
Maybe there's a little drug that helps them not age. Though sometimes I can see it being a stretch. It's just times like these where they look
That
too
is
much
crazy.
alike, but he's just a little bit fluffier. And maybe they swap genders. I don't have all the answers,
Yo.
guys. And the list goes on.
Time travel
Maybe
is
they're
real.
of the same bloodline. Maybe they've been drinking blood. Maybe they have 9 lives. I know it's sad. We all have 7 people who look like us. Yeah.
Man, look. Like, those people look just like them. For me, any bald guy with a beard, they say, hey, you look like that guy right there. Oh, y'all brothers. Today's video is brought to you by DIY OJ. Use code RIGHT7X to get 10% off your custom jersey today.
Tay just made an Instagram post and said that her and her brother are still alive and not to believe what her parents are saying. Guys, make sure and click the plus sign. I'm going to have more on this. Sound off in the comments and tell me what you think. I'm just going to dive in and show you exactly what's going on.
Yeah, what is
and
going on?
Here's the post. It says, and this is from account Termani. So it says, to be clear, I am not unalived. I don't have access anymore to Little Tay Instagram account. My sister and I were winning our case. This is the case about abuse between them and the parents. It was just a couple of days before we got it all back. All of her social media and come out about the truth. Me and Tay are not unalived. We don't got access to the account. Our parents want us gone off the internet, but we will not go away. This is our new account for now. They are spreading misinformation. We are not unalived. They're the only one that got access to the account. Do not believe it. Our parents took everything and they A-worded Tay hard. All we ask is to share this post to your story and follow this account. More updates in a couple hours. But then this came up on the stories and it says, I've decided to go live on Instagram as soon as we hit 25,000 followers. Everybody needs to hear the truth. We are not unalived. Share this story as to many people as possible and follow. What I find weird is this sounded like first it was Little Tay writing and then it sounded like it was somebody else writing. So the first person, third person seemed to be going back and forth. Am I the only one that saw that or am I just seeing that?
It's a little bit
weird?
confusing.
On top of that, this account went way past that. I think it's at 61,000 followers and growing. And so far, there's no live. So then that begs the question, is this really Little Tay or is this just somebody trying to capitalize off of this and grow an Instagram channel, which people do awful things. But there are some interesting theories and some weird evidence that would suggest Little Tay is still alive with us. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that Little Tay or is Little Tay still here and her parents are doing something weird? Or is this a PR stunt? Sound off in the comments. Click the plus sign. I've got more coming.
They done cloned Lil Tay, y'all. Uh-oh. Proof they are trying to unalive us.
I wanted to come on here and show you guys this that I saw, heard, and read about. I didn't believe it, and I was like, there's no way. It's this cheese that I just took out of the fridge.
Oh, she take her
And
job
you can
serious.
plainly see
She got them wheelchair gloves
I
on.
just opened it. So, when you burn it, do you hear that?
What is that?
It's plastic, people. It's not melting.
Oh, we out here eating plastic cheese, plastic rice. I knew I didn't like cheese on my hamburger for a reason. My wife was tripping.
It makes you wonder why.
Yep, I do not like cheese like that, man. Not them little strips of cheese.
Hail Satan! Hail
See,
Satan!
you gotta watch who teaching your children too. These schools is wild. You can't trust nothing. They be pushing that agenda for real.
I'm going to show y'all why this scene explains so much of the pain I've experienced in my back. This may be tough for a lot of people to hear, but I'm going to explain my experience with nanoparticles, alien implants, AI implants, all of that. This video is not real for entertainment purposes, scripted. Yeah, let's get into it. So, in the last video, I explained to y'all the fourth dimension and how things work in the unseen world. For as long as I can remember, I've always had back pain. But it was a very weird back pain. It would always be 2 spots, like almost like dots in my back that would hurt so bad. And through my teenage years, I always just thought it was normal. Maybe it was because of my chest. I think I was like 15 when they told me that I had like a muscle growing over another muscle in my back that's somehow connected to my ribs. I don't know.
So she
But they
had
basically
interweave
couldn't help me,
muscles?
saying that, oh, my body hasn't fully grown yet, so we'll just see what happens when you get older. Which was bullcrap because, you know, I don't trust hospitals, but whatever. So then I started having more conversations about it with people who operate in the fourth dimension and actually can see multi-level things. Moving forward, I just want to let y'all know I'm not getting paid. This is not for promo. This is none of that. This is actually me experiencing this. So I talked to Esoteric and I talked to Makita. And they both were explaining to me that there could be something 4D going on with me having physical effects, which was a AI nano parasite. I'm not gonna lie, at first it was like, okay, what? Like, I don't have a parasite AI bot inside of me. But when you all out of options, you're gonna try as much as you can to fix anything. Okay, so they both said, we're gonna help you remove this. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Anyways, I go into the meditation where, I start to feel the pain, the balls. No cap, when I was in that meditation, I could feel somebody pulling something out of my back, trying to pull this ball out. In the midst of my meditation, I'm like, y'all really like helping me pull this out. Like, this is actually happening. Like, they weren't physically there, but they were there. After that was over with, I started to feel tingly rushes going up my back. I try to involve y'all as many spiritual experiences that I can. It just felt like them literally pulling out a parasite or a tapeworm or a bug out of me. Before making this video, I even waited a week just to see if I would still feel that pain or like if it was completely gone, but it's gone. Like, I don't feel it anymore when I go into meditation. I can fully take deep breaths. Like, it's amazing what I experienced. It's like all of the energy that was stuck at the bottom of my back literally just came up and I just became a whole new person, really. Hit them up. And this is her Instagram. This is his Instagram. You can hit them up, and you can also hit up Isis Wisdom. She has a website that also helps people who are dealing with these type of spiritual situations and can't explain it to doctors and, etc. And also this one where I explain portals being opened up in phones and movies. Because that black screen is a portal. They would use black screens, obsidian screens in ancient times. The Aztecs would use this obsidian black mirror to travel to worlds of gods and ancestors. Makes you think about that TV show Black Mirror, right? Parallel realities. Hit them up if y'all have any questions.
Yo.
But yeah, y'all, that's my story time with that experience. Y'all stay dangerous.
Y'all, I messed with Real Kaya. I also vouched for Isis Wisdom as well. I followed her on Instagram a little while ago. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of the movie Soul. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Soul. It's it's a Disney movie, so I don't know if anybody's watching Disney movies out here. I got children, so I'll be always watching all the little kids movies. But that's where all the truth be anyway. But anyways, in the movie Soul, you can meditate and then go into that other dimension. It's like she said she has something going on with her in the other dimension. They could have been messing with her. Like, there were some little messed up souls messing with other people's souls in the movie Soul. Right? There's some basketball players that made them do something, and in real life they hit each other. It's crazy.
Everybody that lives in the United States uses the currency of the dollar. I need you to listen to me right now. So if you haven't been hearing this rumor of $1 equals to 55 brick dollars, right? So I had to go do some digging and do some research to make sure this was true. So I go to Coinbase to see and add it up, and 93 cents equals to this. Yeah, that means that a loaf of bread is going to be $20. Y'all remember when they said our dollar dropped, right? We done already gave y'all the warning on August 1st, bro. This is not a game, nor is it a drill. In a couple days, shit finna get real. Leave a comment on what y'all think about our dollar dropping. Follow me for more wisdom. Hit that plus button and stay tuned. I'm gonna enlighten you.
Yeah, we've been saying for a while that the dollar ain't gonna be valued at nothing. Please go and watch Weekend Insta last story.
Listen to the contract.
Louie, I'm scared.
You are. Good.
Get it back in blood. Signed his soul to the devil.
Some very strange new information has come out about the Island
The Island Boys, the Epstein Boys.
Have recently been under fire for creating content together on OnlyFans. And while everyone's distracted about them gobbling each other up, no one has noticed the troubling new information that has come out about these two. Information was recently leaked that Fly Soldier is actually part of Mensa. And if you don't know what Mensa is, it's for really smart people. It's also come out that this one right here is really into AI programming. But while everyone's distracted with fake pictures like this of these two when those aren't even them, people aren't even noticing that these two actual geniuses are using advanced AI deepfake technology to make OnlyFans content where they're gobbling each other up. I don't even know what to think about this, guys. Let me know what you think. If you want anything and everything conspiracy theory, make sure to hit that follow button right here.
I don't want to know nothing else about they OnlyFans.
What in the entire fuck? Here's Britney Spears' Instagram upload last Friday.
So I think she a deep fake. They got them filters on her.
I decided to try out this deepfake detector website.
She a deep
I
fake for
uploaded
sure.
that same video from her Instagram.
You probably do the same thing with Jamie Foxx. That was probably a deep fake. What kind of photos she got in her gallery? Okay. Deep fake. Yo, you can't trust anything. No photos, no video, none of that. No voice.
Do you know that
none
John
of that.
Lennon was actually being surveillanced by the U.S. government? You know, he was huge on the whole peace thing. He was very politically involved, honestly. At the time, the U.S. government was on very shaky ground. He is so politically influential, they didn't want him to have any role in elections because they thought he's famous that he could actually change the way people vote. Yeah. They ended up sending him threats of deportation. They told him they were going to kick him out of the country if he didn't stay out of the politics, right? He went on a couple of talk shows and talked about it, and then randomly, like...
Oh, we gotta go watch the full episode. I hate when TikTok do that to us.
TV shows that expose the true shape of the earth, part 3. What I'm about to show you guys is a Hennessy commercial. Yes, this Hennessy.
So, I've already seen this Hennessy commercial a few times. It's crazy. I'm just gonna let you guys watch it. I don't want to spoil anything for you, but when I first seen it, it blew my mind because I'm like, yo, they telling us right here. So let's go ahead and get into it.
And in this commercial, they literally show the firmament and the waters above the firmament.
And it's always in a little globe, a little ball that people travel in. Telling us right here. And it's just crazy that this is a commercial for Hennessy. Those that drink Hennessy don't even be into that type of
What you just
stuff.
saw was biblically accurate. God's word says that we live under a firmament that divides us from the waters above the firmament. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters." And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. If you look in the original Bible, the word is rakia, which is the firmament, an extended solid surface, the vault of the heavens supporting the waters above. Look what it says here, flat as base. Looks a lot like this. Let God be true, but every man a liar. I'm here to tell you what the Bible says about the earth is true. God's word is true, alive, and accurate. I believe what the world says about the earth. If it gets 100k likes, I'll make a part 4 on this series. Like and follow for more.
What y'all think? I mean, y'all know where I stand.
Or fuck it, maybe adrenochrome is real. I don't know.
So maybe like me, you were following that guy for his investigations of the top shareholders of all of the, food products in the supermarket. But him saying, fuck it, I don't know, maybe adrenochrome is real, is showing himself to be a full-on gloves-off like QAnon pipeline guy. He's trying to lead you with that entire video down a QAnon pipeline. And to be clear, QAnon is a new version of a very, very old anti-Semitic conspiracy theory about blood libel. They are telling the same lie about, secret cabal of Jews, stealing children and harvesting their blood. That lie has been being told to justify the massacre of Jews since the Middle Ages. Please unfollow him, deplatform him, block him. He is not a leftist. He has been a wolf in sheep's clothing. He is clearly way down the far right pipeline.
Okay.
Undeniable evidence that we do live under a dome or the firmament. Now, first of all, why is it that every single ancient culture and society all depicted the dome and the flat earth? Even the Masons did that. Here's us.
This is a radical idea. I just want to throw it out there.
Let's hear it.
Hear me out.
Come on.
Could it be because ancient cultures didn't have something that came about in the modern age? Something we call a space program. I mean, they couldn't even fly. Not.
He don't know what he talking about. That's all I'm gonna say. How about they didn't know they could fly? We all know that these UFOs that we seeing are ancient technology. So how you gonna say that they couldn't fly? You can go look at any of the old depictions on any of the buildings. It could be Egypt, it can be the Mayans, it could be anywhere. And you'll see spaceships, you'll see people flying, you'll see helicopters, you'll see rocket ships, you'll see nuclear bombs, you'll see all of this stuff. This is all old technology, ain't nothing new under the sun. So yeah, whatever he guys to say, yeah, we just gonna hear it.
You can glide. You're talking about people that thought you sneezed to expel demons from your body. They didn't know how things worked.
What people was that? That wasn't... Yeah, man, that must have been his people.
So this is why you should never ask for a toy in your Happy Meal.
Wait, why? The toy's the best part.
Yeah, but there's this legend of this little brunette girl who really wanted these Happy Meal toys that were like little dolls that everybody wanted. So she went to McDonald's, got her Happy Meal, but the worker that gave it to her seemed really worried when he handed it to her. But she didn't really care, so she got her Happy Meal, went home, and opened her Happy Meal toy, which is a little doll in a white dress and blonde hair. Okay? So she decided to set up the doll on her dresser that was looking at her bed, and she went to sleep.
Can't mess with them dolls.
The next day, she woke up feeling super weird, and she looked at the doll, and the doll looks like the face changed a little bit. Like the doll actually had a dimple now when it didn't before. But she just left it alone and didn't care. And then the next day, she actually woke up again feeling super sick this time. So she decided to stay home from school, but she looked at the doll again, and it looked like the doll's hair was actually getting a little bit darker. And even when her mom came in the room to check on her, she noticed that the doll looked really similar to her daughter. Like she was really like shocked that it looked so similar.
What the heck?
So then the third day comes around, and the mom notices that the daughter never...
I ain't messing with no dolls. Don't bring no dolls in my house.
Here's why I think there's suspicion behind the death of late rapper and media personality, Lil Tay.
More Lil Tay.
It was reported many times that Lil Tay was being beaten and abused by family members.
I'm gonna be honest. Until I started like seeing what was going on with her being unalived or whatever they're saying, I didn't even know who Lil Tay was, right? And I'm like, who is this little kid, right? That's super famous, super viral. It's just a little kid, I guess, but I'm gonna have to look more into it because I really don't know what's going on right now, y'all. Y'all can let me know in the comments though, because hey, fill me in if y'all know.
In this article in 2021, her brother came out and said her father was really abusive. And then suddenly, after all of her media hype, she randomly disappeared for no reason. This sensitive content is shown of Lil Tay with bruises and red marks all over her body. Regardless if you liked Lil Tay as a media personality or not, no child her age should have gone through that. Her and her brother's death need to be investigated.
Yeah, man. They need to figure something out.
Once again, what the fuck, Kodak?
My boy higher than that thing. Look at his eyes. That's what's wrong. Sheesh. Making my eyes water looking at them joints. ATL.
Look at that.
Look at that weird old cloud. Man, that look wild, don't it? We having some strange weather, man. The sky is strange.
What if I told you in 2024 these aliens are going to land and take over the world? Would you believe me?
I might.
This Peru incident is only one minor thing. I want people to understand something. This been going on for thousands of years. Now we just got the technology to show people what's really going on. This is why these governments are now letting people know that UFOs are real, aliens are real, ghosts are real, jinns are real. We at a point in our dimension or the universal shift where things are about to be seen for everyone to see. I am not saying that aliens are not real. I just want people to understand something. You gotta open your third eye so you can know what is the government technology and what is UFO technology. Remember, Peru had all kind of mummy aliens for a long time. There's nothing new under the sun. Shit is getting real hot now. Don't be surprised if you wake up one morning and go outside and you don't see people no more. You start seeing aliens like this walking by you.
Straight up.
It's coming. We are on this new earth or a new shift or a new reality where universes are actually colliding. There was space between universes or different realities. Now they are colliding. They've been trying to tell us in cartoons and movies forever. These governments try to lower our vibration for so long, and they told us that no one exists in the universe but us. We are in the third dimension, but we are supposed to be in the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension. The universe is a school of dimensions where we're supposed to keep going higher and higher, but we've been stuck for so long in this third dimension. Now it's second dimensional beings living on a third dimension because we've been stuck in the third dimension for so long, we forgot about the fourth and the fifth. So now we have second dimensional life forms destroying our third dimension because we never went to the fourth dimension. Remember, the story always go deeper. I want people to understand something. There is a dimension where it is the cartoon reality. There is a reality filled with cartoons. And this is why TikTok did this Barbie filter. Cartoons is a real organic dimension we forgot about. Remember, they get these ideas from somewhere. They getting it from the cartoon reality. Remember, they always put the truth in our face. If you choose to close your eyes, then that's your fault that you live in the darkness. Check out the movie Cool World so you can understand the cartoon dimension. If you want to know how to break free from the matrix and open your third eye, go to the link in my bio and you can circle and schedule an appointment for a one-on-one conversation.
Kind of reminds me of all these multiverse movies we got.
We've taken another step towards a cashless society. A big bank has confirmed customers in some locations can no longer withdraw money over the counter as branches continue to wind back services.
Look, I'm finna, as soon as my deposit hit, I'm finna go get that real, you know what I'm saying, or invest it in something else because I do not want this to happen. Just imagine waking up, your deposit hit, you go to get your money, and they say, we ain't got it. Man, that's gonna be a crazy day, but I think it's coming, y'all, so prepare yourselves. You know, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would advise for you to do something else with your money than just let it sit in your bank account. You should invest it somewhere else into a new type of asset, something that's going to maintain its value once you realize that the dollar ain't got none.
It's up there with the pub with no beer, the bank with no cash. ANZ has confirmed some branches no longer handle cash at the counter. Others are directing customers to smart ATMs for cash transactions.
The latest figures on ATMs shows the number of machines has more than halved from almost 14,000 back in 2017 to around 6,000 in the middle of last year.
For years, cash was king, but not anymore. Hello there, I wondered if you had any change for a $50 note.
No, I don't have any cash.
Don't use cash anymore these days?
No, definitely not. No change at all.
Never?
Never. Not having cash is much more convenient.
For the first time since dollars and cents were introduced in the 1960s.
And what he said right there was just key, right? Because we always are giving in to convenience right? They sell us on convenience to make things more convenient and more easier for us, right? So that we could be more lazy, in all honesty. So, man, that's a trap right there.
Australia's cash supply is shrinking.
We are becoming fully digitalised. We're still producing cash out there, but we're just becoming more reliant on other ways to pay. And this is what you would expect. In fact, it's a trend that's long been in the making.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
Hey, y'all, just think about this for a second, right? Imagine you're a government and you want to get rid of all the cash. So you tell everybody, we got this new form of digital cash for you. For you to get this digital cash, give me your physical, give me all the real cash. So you're the government. You're taking everybody's real cash and giving them this fake money that you control, right? So now you control all of the money, the physical money. You got it all. And then you can press one button and now your bank, that person out there, their bank account don't work. They can't use their fake dollar, their digital dollar, because they don't even know what it's valued at, and they're not in control of it. So, oh man, that's just a whole nother thing that I don't even want to go down right now.
Look at that weather vane right here. Okay? This is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10 people standing in front of a weather vane that's made out of gold. And this was enormous weather vane made out of wrought copper and all gold leaf on top of a church in Illinois. Okay, 10 people, you see that, the size of that, sitting on top of a church. Now, when I look at churches, and I've seen churches and attended a church, there's usually a cross on top of the church. Mm-hmm. I have never in my life in Illinois, especially even being from Illinois, never in my life have seen something like that on top of a church.
Me either.
Ever. And that is an arrow and an orb. So, you know, you have to sit and think, well, why was that on top of a church? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so now let's take it a step further, because now we're gonna go
fill me in, because I don't know.
So then we go into the other side of this book, and we go to the City Hall of Lawrence, Massachusetts. So now we're Lawrence, Massachusetts, and we're at the City Hall. So the political building has a weather vane on top of it, and it is the largest in the world, okay? And it is out of copper, and it was put on top of the roof of Massachusetts to replace the one which used to be there. Okay, so let me show you the other.
Oh man, I didn't get to see the full video. She letting us know who she is, y'all. You gotta pay attention.
A photographer captured a strange underwater labyrinth in BC, and people had some crazy theories about it. He thought it might be a petroglyph carved into the rock from an ancient community, and others thought it was evidence of an alien landing or a Sasquatch. But it turned out it was probably a labyrinth made in modern times when the water was much lower, so be careful what you believe online.
That is true. You can't believe everything you see.
Ain't nobody told me
Hey, we might live on Mars.
Movie scenes that reveal the truth.
Hold on, y'all. Get some on my glasses. Back in action.
There was that ant that stood up to me.
Yeah, but we can forget about him.
Yeah, it was just one ant.
One
ant. You're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
Well, how about this?
It's one of my favorite movies as a kid.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
Yo, that's truly the government now.
This ascension shit is getting wild. So this planetary energetic shift that has been happening over the past few months is starting to fucking speed up. Here are some things you can notice. You feel tired. You tired? Don't want to work. You don't want to do anything, eh? I know. Your vision is fucking distorted. Like my eyes today, I just want to close them. I don't want to look at anything. 3, headaches. Why not? 4, nausea. I've been experimenting this. I'm like, why the fuck do I feel like gagging right now? People don't understand with their logical physical mind, and I am not a scientist, so I'm not gonna show you fucking diagrams and shit so your physical mind can be like, that makes sense. You're an energetic being. Different vibrational frequencies hold different currents. Imagine one's red, one's orange, one's pink. Imagine it's different colors, okay? The best explanation I can give you so you understand. Imagine that we've been like operating through different colors and now we're shifting to operate on the same colors all at once. We're just like fucking combining and we're like going full force. Your physical vessel, your third dimensional body. What's happening? Oh shit, what's happening? This is what's happening. Stop telling yourself you have to suck it up or something's wrong with you. Maybe you need to see a therapist. Maybe you need help. Maybe something's wrong with you. Nothing's fucking wrong with you. It's just they don't want to talk about it on the news because they don't want you to know about it, because they don't want you to know anything. So you think you're going fucking crazy because you're like, I don't feel normal. I don't feel like I did like 5 years ago. What's going on? One day at a time is all I can offer you, because that's what I'm offering myself. There's days that I feel super creative and in flow, and today, y'all, the pressure is here and I just feel like yuck. I'm going to send you a big energetic hug from afar, probably very far, but just know that I am with you. You're not alone in this. Every time I make a video like this, people are like, wow, I'm so glad I'm not by myself. You're never by yourself. We're all connected. We're all together in this thing. So let's get it.
Am I the only one seeing how they snuck this BS back in the news and they're slowly implementing it back into the mainstream?
Yeah.
Y'all, do not fall for this foolery. Please don't. All of a sudden, it's cases popping up all over the world. Hawaii, UK, US.
All of a sudden. You know what's crazy? I keep seeing people in my own town more and more daily with their masks back on. And I feel like they're going to try to implement another mandate here soon. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, damn, like, this one is going to be from people taking the you know what. Like we've been saying this whole time. How this just popped back up in the news out the blue. If it ain't obvious at this point, then like, bro. And to put the icing on the cake, Guardian came out with an article in 2020 saying, get ready for COVID-23. Now, it's based off this movie called Songbird. The story they ended up with is set in 2024. The world has been ravaged by the latest and deadliest strand of coronavirus, COVID-23. Why would they have 23? And all of a sudden, you see COVID just rising back up all over the world, huh? Shit is a fucking joke.
Walk-ins are walking in. What the heck?
There she go. Come on, baby. Tell them.
Y'all see this, right?
A store? Yo, what's going on with people in the world? You got this, people acting like this on airplanes. Yeah, I feel you on that.
Rashad Jamal was right now. You remember when he was talking about these walk-ins that's supposed to be walking in? Yeah, how we supposed to have these high-dimensional creatures and these low-dimensional creatures that's supposed to be coming in at the same time. Yeah, and the people who aren't vibing at a certain frequency, their minds will literally be consumed by these low vibrational entities. Yeah, I think that's happening right now. We have humans that are turning into dogs. There are people literally losing their mind.
Facts.
Yeah, the walk-ins are definitely walking in. Free to God, man. He was right. Yeah, let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Yeah, go on and hit all of these. Y'all want more wisdom, hit that plus button and comment what y'all think.
What y'all think, man? That dog, man, was crazy.
Y'all want to see some crazy ass shit? Crazy. Come watch this. If you are a flat earther or a glober, I need both of y'all to come here and explain what this is.
Come on, y'all.
I physically
Come on, y'all. Let's go
just
check
did
it out.
this and I am confused. Hold please. Alright, so boom. I go to Google Earth. I type in Antarctica, right? It takes me to the globe, sure. It goes down to what's supposed to be Antarctica, so I take the little fucking thingamajigs. I go around, get the perimeter. But look at the area. Like, it's a hollow piece missing. So I'm like, alright, boom. Let me go to Africa and do it. I go around it. It gives me the perimeter and the area. I do the United States and Canada. Well, just United States. It does the same thing. I go back to Antarctica. Do it again. And it's hollow.
Yo.
So I go to the North Pole or around the area. And I'm like, okay, well, let me draw a circle there. It does the same thing with the hollow shit. Now,
maybe it's just me, but why didn't it just give the whole area, the square miles of it? Like, you put it at the bottom, like 12 million, some crazy ass kilometers. But it's showing hollow. It's not showing in the middle of it. Why is that? You know, maybe it's something. Maybe it's nothing. Explain it to me.
Y'all let me know in the comments
what y'all think. Do it for yourself
that is.
first, and then come explain it to me. I'm ready to see these crazy ass excuses. Oh yeah, quick disclaimer. I put all of my TikTok videos on YouTube now, just in case TikTok want to take it down. Also, you see how this says globe versus flat Earth? Questions part 14. When any of my videos have a part on it, that means I did other videos with the same whatever topic. And then you look at the bottom, it's gonna have the playlist that you can go watch all the rest of them, because I got like thousands of videos, and that's the easy way. Also on the top of my profile, the playlists are up there. So happy hunting. Bye.
You already know that Holly Weird, you know what's going on with Holly Weird, okay? So, but it's out now. But several years ago, I knew what was going on, but it was verified through people that make you nervous, like Lester Summerall. But yet he's flying around a C-130 loaded with food. He's not even flinching. He has ships full of food, and he's just taking it everywhere and distributing it. And he's not even nervous about it. Okay, this is what he said. He said, when he names the country in Africa, he said, when I was down there, I had and this isn't hearsay, this is on tape, that he's at the podium where I am a student. He's right there. How can you mess this up? He said, this man gave his life to the Lord. He was a known warlock, very powerful. And he said, Lester said, I have been in his presence when he was not saved. I have watched where he would go, he said, I'm going to the president's desk. He would go to the president's desk in our country, and he would come back with a piece of information, and it would be on the news the next day or within a week. He could take objects and move them to different places. He could make objects come to him. He could do all this stuff. But he got saved, and then he sat down with Lester. And I don't know why this isn't out. I've been waiting and waiting for this story to come out. So somebody else gets blamed for it, but I can't hold back anymore, because we're at this place now. We're in the threshold of something that's happening. And this line of fire was formed across the United States this year through what the Lord has asked me to do my small part in this. So he told Lester, he goes, just so you know, and he names they're all the big ones, all the big musicians that you know. They all flew down to him. And they let him be possessed, and then, like Madonna, the Spirit gave her, through him, he started with doing dance steps, and then he would get a word so that she could take that spirit on, herself, and that spirit would come and be with her. But then he would give words and name words for songs and the dance moves for every individual that you can think of. And they would all come down there to him to get their assignment, and their albums would just go through the roof. Everybody would buy them. Everybody would go to their concerts. And so now he's saved and he's traveling with Lester, and he did for a while. And he's telling people this, and it just seems like what we deal with now. Nothing happening here, keep moving, don't look up, it's a weather balloon. Then all of a sudden it's a UFO. And then they spent you don't know this, but they also spent more money, and they shot down a high school kid's project with $1 million missile, So.
You connecting? Picasso is dead. Steve Jobs is dead. Walt Disney is dead. Name somebody living that you can name in the same breath as them. Don't tell me about being likable. We got 100 years here. We're one race. The human race, one civilization. We're a blip in the existence of the universe.
Speaking facts.
And we constantly trying to pull each other down. Not doing things to help each other. That's my point. It's like I'm shaking talking about, I know it's daytime TV, but I feel that I can make a difference while I'm here. I feel that I can make things better through my skill set. My skills, I'm an artist. 5 years old, art school, PhD, Art Institute of Chicago. I am an artist. I have a condition called synesthesia where I see styles. I see them. Everything that I sonically make is a painting. I see it. I see the importance. I see the importance and the value of everyone being able to experience a more beautiful life.
Is it really possible that this icy continent was home to some ancient civilizations?
Yep.
Well, if you really think about it, it's definitely not unlikely. Historians in 1929 found an ancient map that changed the views of many on ancient civilizations, as well as their capabilities. It was the Piri Reis map, which was created by one of the most popular Turkish officers using
Piri
much
Reis.
older maps.
Anybody on here follow Graham Hancock? Graham Hancock, he's bringing to light a lot of these ancient maps and stuff. And I like Graham Hancock, I haven't really done too much research. I don't know what his true intention is, but it looks like he has been trying to, bring the truth to light. And he brings up these Piri Reis maps and how these old maps just don't make sense with common history, the history that they teach us in school. So y'all should check out Graham Hancock if you get a chance.
Which are believed to predate many ancient cultures. An interesting and shocking detail found on the map was that Antarctica was depicted with fascinating precision. The map appears to show Antarctica almost 300 years before it was discovered.
Mm-hmm.
Not only does it show Antarctica, but the continent is drawn as a landmass, as it would have appeared before it was covered with its ice cap over 6,000 years ago. As astonishing as it is, the Piri Reis map wasn't the only map that shocked the world with an ice-free depiction of the continent. Published in 1521 is the Orance Fine Chart that also includes details depicting Antarctica to be free of ice. Another intriguing fact is that this map describes lakes and rivers on the continent, which satellite images of the modern world confirm to exist. But the question is, how is it possible that such charts actually exist? Another greater question that deserves a real answer is, who conducted a global survey of the planet during the time when the continent was free of ice? These just lead to numerous speculations and some more interesting theories than ever that have been a possibility in decades. Are these theories starting to blow your mind? Well, let us bring more questions to your mind with a list of what-ifs to think about. What if there were advanced ancient civilizations that have discovered what the planet looked like in the past? What if buried under those thick sheets of ice is evidence of lives and civilizations that flourished in Antarctica? What if a highly advanced civilization was living in Antarctica millions of years ago, when it was covered in rainforest instead of ice? What if there are far superior species yet to be unveiled there? What if there is an entrance to UFOs and a secret alien base there? With such a mysterious place as Antarctica, the theories and speculations seem to be endless, and so are the possibilities. From the time that scientists and explorers laid their eyes on the continent, many have always wanted to know more about this mysterious frozen land. What's really underneath the ice? Or is there something under it? Although there is certainly a lot more to be realized and discovered, researchers have made significant discoveries over the decades. Another interesting fact is that scientists who have drilled into its ice and removed cores containing bubbles that froze about 1 million years ago found evidence of a link between levels of carbon dioxide in the glacial cycles and the atmosphere. These and some other discoveries have helped many to see the continent not only as an isolated wilderness or wasteland. They now recognize Antarctica as a place that has always been interconnected with the planet and has a crucial role to play in its history.
Do y'all think we'll ever find the true history or what's going on with Antarctica? At least in our lifetime, y'all think so? I really, really hope so. I hope so, like in the next few years, you could just be able to know exactly what's going on in Antarctica because there's so many questions, no answers. It's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. I'm just trying to figure out how this man passed away. Now, rest in peace. Rest in peace. But when I look online, they just say like his pops died like last week. Rest in peace to him. And now out of a sudden he passed, and they was talking about mental health. So I'm not understanding what they trying to say. But let me tell you that dying, just dying naturally of 25, they say he was passed away. He did, there's no idol, you know what I'm saying? And there's no assassination. So how did he die? Now I'm waiting to see how they say he died. Like, I don't want to come up to no conclusion. Rest in peace, but how did this man die? Like, can somebody tell me how this man died?
That's a good question, y'all.
I'd like shortly to warn people from upcoming danger for humanity. The World Health Organization wants all countries to sign an agreement on handing over the authority to declare a pandemic, procure vaccine and drugs. It will be healthier and safer for humanity to sign agreement with the Colombian drug cartel. They know all about drugs for sure. During the COVID pandemic, World Health Organization only told lies.
Right.
It should be declared a terroristic organization. They lied. That is a new and known virus. That is possible to make an effective vaccine. That the vaccine is 82% effective. That it protects against serious illness and deaths. That all, of course, were foolish and lies. Today, World Health Organization is more dangerous for humanity than World Economic Forum. Thank you.
Scientists excavating mounds thought to contain remains of civilized people. Portland, Oregon, June 6. Excavation of Indian mounds, which already have led scientists to believe they have discovered a much more civilized race than the American Indians, who later populated the section. The civilized people were Negro Aboriginal Americans already building mounds in America thousands of years before you got here. We know the truth now.
The ancient mound builders, the Moors.
It honestly blows my mind how nobody is talking about this. So recently this new Netflix movie came out called They Cloned Tyrone, which is basically a movie that surrounds a whole bunch of conspiracy theories which also happen to be real. And guess who was the main producer and actor of this movie? Jamie Foxx. Now I'm mentioning this because ever since he announced that he was going to be in this movie, a lot of weird things have been happening to him. Like the fact he got randomly hospitalized right before the movie came out of nowhere. Have you ever realized that every time some celebrity comes out with some truth or talks about a conspiracy theory or something of that nature, something weird always happens to them?
True. Like, yeah.
They either always get arrested, they always end up getting clapped, or they always end up in the hospital, or something crazy like that always happens to a celebrity every single time. Or nothing happens to them and the media just tries to make them seem like they're actually crazy, like what they do with Kanye West. And have you ever realized that every time a celebrity comes back from their hiatus, wherever they end up going, they always come back looking just a slightly little bit different? This is Jamie Foxx after he came back from the hospital. He's looking a little bit fishy, if you ask me. I don't know, he's not exactly looking the same as before he went in. But I mean, at least his wife's looking hot. All I gotta say is, they don't like when you reveal too much of the truth, which is exactly what they're doing in this movie.
Are you saying that you think they take people out and clone them and put a robot in their place?
Well, this is what I'm saying. I don't know what they doing. I don't know what they doing. What I know is our eyes, it's like you almost saying, are my eyes deceiving me? Am I saying what I think I'm saying? So I don't know what they're doing. I'm just telling y'all.
Calm down. I got the receipts right here. They cloning motherfuckers as we speak in secret laboratories in Chicago, Illinois, Detroit, Michigan, Los Angeles, California. Figure out what?
Hey, make sure to dominate the little plus button so you don't end up getting cloned. Let's get it!
I found another weird art.
Another weird one, y'all. It's another weird one. A cloud. And a dress.
Okay.
That a lobster?
A scorpion? Lobster?
A lobster or something? That's definitely a lobster or a crab.
Holding some little kids?
Oh no, they still taking somebody's kid. They're trying to take somebody's kid, somebody's kid again. See? I don't know what this means, but
Mr. Krabs trying to take the
kid. New York
kid.
is trying to tell y'all. Yeah, there's some shit going on. And New York is trying to tell y'all something. I don't know quite. I'm gonna figure it out.
He gonna figure it out. We might have to go follow him. Oh, snap. History repeats itself. Literally. It's all old knowledge that we got now. Now that's crazy. What? These old pictures is crazy, ain't they? Circuit board technology. The whole world was like a giant computer back in the day. Got stargates, ships, light bulbs, nuke bombs, spaceships, motherboards, astronauts, whatever that is, or that, or alien technology. Oh yeah, that's some electrical stuff right there. Atmospheric electricity, flying pyramids of the Vedic religions. Yeah, Brahma and all them, Vishnu. I don't know what that is. Is that more stargates, some type of turbine, more electrical stuff here. That's ancient. I want to know what that is. These little clay UFOs. I can't even see that one, y'all. Uh-oh, look at that electricity. More electricity. Yo, history is crazy. I want to know what the old world was like because The old ones look cooler. All the old stuff look cooler than what we got right now. Spark plugs, what? Oh yeah, them ancient fireplaces with no fire. Yeah, the old world is amazing.
Because I'm telling y'all, I looked at every single one of them screens, and they only watching places that's in our neighborhood.
Who gives a fuck about the Glen?
And that ain't me, because your boy, he taking observations and shit. Notes, like, about the chicken, and what it's doing to people.
So you say this is conspiracy, like the man, 9/11, they're stealing bags.
Yeah, I mean, what else could it be? And my thing is, look, if we can...
I just tell the truth, and telling the truth is crazy in a world full of lies.
Alright, I'm about to slow these pictures down. They tell us who they are all the time now.
That's just a type of language. So you can say, and this is a real example that I tried, GPT, find me a security vulnerability, then write some code to exploit it. So I posted in some code. This is from like a mail server, and I said, please find any exploits and describe any vulnerabilities in the following code, then write a script to exploit them, and in around 10 seconds, that was the code to exploit it. So while it is not yet the case that you can ask an AI to hack a Wi-Fi router, you can see in the double exponential, whether it's 1 year or 2 years or 5 years, at some soon point, it becomes easy to turn all of the physical hardware that's already out there into kind of the ultimate surveillance.
Now, one thing for you all to get is that these might look like separate demos. Like, oh, there's some people over here that are building some specialized AI for hacking Wi-Fi routers, and there's some people over here building some specialized AI for inventing images from text. But the reason we show in each case the language of English and computer code, of English and images, of space, is that this is all, everyone's contributing to one kind of technology that's going like this. So even if it's not everywhere yet and doing everything yet, we're trying to give you a sneak preview of the capabilities that and how fast they're growing, so you understand how fast we have to move if we want to actually start to steer and constrain it. Now, many of you are aware of the fact that images can, the new AI can actually copy your voice, right? You can get someone's voice, Obama and Putin, people have seen those videos. What they may not know is it only takes 3 seconds of your voice to reconstruct it. So here's a demo of the first 3 seconds are of a real person speaking, even though she sounds a little bit metallic. The rest is just what the computer automatically generated her
of
saying.
People are,
Real.
in 9 cases out of 10, mere spectacle reflections of the actuality of things. But they are impressions of something different and more.
Here's another one with piano. The first 3 seconds are real piano. Indistinguishable, right? So the first 3 seconds are real piano, the rest is just it's automatically generating.
Now, one of the things I want to say is, as we saw these first demos, we sat and thought, like, how is this going to be used? We're like, oh, what would be terrifying is if someone were to call up, your son or your daughter and get a couple seconds, hey, oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong number, grab their voice, then turn around and call you and be like, hey, dad, hey, mom, I forgot my social security number, I'm applying for this thing, what was it again? And we're like, that's scary.
We thought about that conceptually, and then this actually happens.
Exactly, and this happens more and more, that we will think of something, and then we'll look in the news, and within a week or 2 weeks, there it is. So this is that exact thing happening. And then 1 month ago, an AI cloned teen's girl voice in a $1 million kidnapping scam. So these things are not theoretical. Sort of as fast as you can think of them, people can deploy them.
And of course, people are familiar with how this has been happening in social media, because you can beautify photos, you can actually change someone's voice in real time. Those are new demos. Some of you may be familiar with this. This is the new beautification filters in TikTok.
I can't believe this is a filter. The fact that this is what filters have evolved into is actually crazy to me. I grew up with the dog filter on Snapchat, and now this filter gave me lip fillers. This is what I look like in real life.
What?
Are you kidding me?
I don't know if you can tell, she was pushing on her lip in real time, and as she pushed on her lip, the lip fillers were going in and out in real time, indistinguishable from reality. And now you're going to be able to create your own avatar. This is just from a week ago. A 23-year-old Snapchat influencer took her own likeness and basically created a virtual version of her as a kind of a boyfriend, a girlfriend as a service for $1 a minute. And people will be able to sell their, avatar souls to basically interact with other people in their voice and their likeness, etc.
It's as if no one ever actually watched The Little Mermaid. The thing to say is that this is the year that photographic and video evidence ceases to work, right? And our institutions have not caught up to that yet, right? This is the year you do not know when you talk to someone if you're actually talking to them, even if you have video, even if you have audio.
Man, that's crazy.
But have y'all heard about Young Thug trying to get the evidence of a goat ritual sacrifice thrown out of court? Have y'all heard about this? If y'all heard about this and nobody told me or tagged me in it, we gonna have to fight. But y'all, what the hell is going on? Watch this.
In the court to exclude evidence of a ritualistic sacrifice in his RICO trial.
The theory behind killing animals is you're draining their energy, their power, and to use for mystical purposes.
According to newly filed court documents, defense attorneys for Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, have motioned to exclude evidence stemming from his co-defendant's arrest. According to the documents, during Shannon Stillwell's March 2022 arrest, officials found a, quote, religious ceremony which involved the supposed sacrifice of goats. Prosecutors say Stillwell, known as SB, and Young Thug were part of a gang referred to as Young Slime Life. Now, Young Thug's defense team says showing evidence of this alleged goat sacrifice has no, quote, benefit or probative value and could create prejudice in jurors. For more information about this,
there are known paganistic symbols and satanic symbols,
it's
and
in our
there
face.
there's a whole textbook on ritual crime that police know about and have used, but honestly, there was a whole satanic panic in the 80s.
and says he's unclear what specifically a goat sacrifice could represent.
The theory behind killing animals is you're draining their energy, their power, and to use for mystical purposes, or again, as a sign of sacrifice to the divine. And it could very well be just a crazy.
It's Shaq in drag on the Dennis Scott Show. Masculine women, feminine men. Which is a rooster, which is a hen? It's hard to tell them apart today.
How do you lift that? You see these sideburns? He got them from me. He showed me these sideburns. He was trying to hit on me, but I wouldn't give him no play.
Nobody better than this girl right here.
Look at that again, huh? Yeah, man. What's going on with this? Why they be pushing that on us? Or why they be pushing that on us, I should say.
America, take a good look at your beloved candidates. They're nothing but hideous space reptiles.
Truth in our face.
Those
right
candidates are phonies. You heard me. They're alien replicants from beyond the moon.
These latest images are shot with a heat-detecting camera. Hillary is blue, cold, metal.
America, take a good look at your beloved candidates. They're nothing but hideous space reptiles.
I mean, it's right there in our face, though, y'all. Skin be.
Why won't anyone believe my crazy story?
Or the aliens? Maybe they're among us. I don't know.
There go the Simpsons dropping hints again.
Me and my wife wanted to see what would happen if we sent our bat's DNA into 23andMe. And so, after a difficult process of swabbing our bat's mouth, we went to the mailbox and sent it off. And after waiting a few months, the results were back. It turns out that little Bruce Wayne is Vietnamese, Indonesian, Chinese, but also European, with the vast majority of his blood being Vietnamese. Now, this does make sense, but it's kind of weird considering that this is a 23andMe, which is meant for human beings. Follow to see more animal DNA tests.
It's crap.
These DNA tests for ethnicity are entertainment value only.
William Gilliland is a biology professor at DePaul.
When I handed Vi the certificate, she got extremely emotional about it. She wept, and it meant so very much.
People want to believe.
They want to believe they've gotten an answer.
And it's not fair of us to let them believe that we're giving them certain answers, because scientifically, we just can't.
Hank Greeley is concerned that the science isn't really there yet for you to be giving them the name of a tribe.
I think for most companies, I would be concerned too.
But what about your own company?
We have
He didn't exclude you. He included you.
But we have the largest set of sequences from Africa. And so with that, we're able to provide some level of probability in terms of frequency.
But he would say that even though you have the largest database, it's still small on the scope of things.
As I said, I share those concerns.
About yourself.
Our DNA.
And that's the rub. This business of genetic genealogy is fraught with limitations. For one thing, it can only provide information about a tiny fraction of our ancestry. Because we get half our DNA from our mothers and half from our fathers, almost all of our DNA gets shuffled and remixed every generation, making it impossible to trace what comes from whom. There are just 2 bits of DNA that remain pure. The Y chromosome, which passes directly from father to son, and something called mitochondrial DNA, which passes unchanged from mother to child. Hank Greeley, a law professor at Stanford University, has studied this new field. He worries that people don't realize just how many ancestors they actually have.
8 generations ago, both you and I had 256 great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents.
Wait, you're saying that if you go back 8 generations, we have 256 great-great-great-grandparents?
Yes, it doubles every generation. So you've got 2 parents, you have 4 grandparents, you have 8 great-grandparents, 16 great-great-grandparents, and it adds up fast. It adds up so fast and fast.
None of y'all wasted
But
y'all
if you
money
go
on
back
23
20 generations, you've got over 1 million grandparents.
1,048,576 to be exact.
And y'all still
And
think
in
y'all
each
came from a tribe
generation,
in Africa.
DNA testing can provide information about only 2 of them.
So you could be Peruvian on your mother's 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 side, Japanese on your father's 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 side, Swedish on everything else.
And you'll never know.
And you'll never know the Swedish from the Y chromosome or the mitochondrial DNA.
Now, you've looked at several of these companies that are doing these tests.
Yes.
Do you think that they explain what you just explained to us?
No, I don't think any of them does as good a job of pointing out.
Oh no. What the?
What you just saw there was a human-pig hybrid. Now, it is no secret that the human genome is being tampered with, as the media cannot stop talking about it as of recent. The human genome being tampered with is exactly why God wiped out everybody in the flood during Noah's time. In the Bible, when it talks about Noah being perfect in all of his generations, that meaning of perfect means...
I was doing some stuff with tigers in India, and I picked up a disease called tularemia, and I had this horrible patch of pus on my elbow. I came home from India, and for 2 months I was in bed, and I had no energy, and they put me on this antibiotic. Infectious disease doctors couldn't heal this thing. I went to the Amazon. JJ takes my arm, looks at it. We go into the jungle. He cuts a tree, takes the sap, says, drink some of this, not too much. He was like, 1 drop of this down your throat. And then he took the rest of the sap and he rubs it onto the wound. And this is like a disgusting, pussy thing that had been plaguing me for months. It was better the next day.
Really? Does it work on all kinds of infections and diseases or just the kind that you have?
So we tested it in a petri.
The truth is, we get all of our medicine from nature. Anything that you need to heal yourself is probably out here in nature somewhere. We just don't have the knowledge of it. You know what I mean? Like, we need the herbology, like on the Harry Potter Hogwarts shirts or whatever.
Dish. And basically, there's some of these saps, you can't get this bacteria to live with these saps. So we don't use Neosporin in the jungle. It doesn't work. What we do is we go to the Sangre de Drago tree. That works. As soon as I see a little something like a mosquito bite, just go and put that on it. And immediately gone. You won't get infections.
Wow.
Seems like an epic adventure until it flips. Generally, icebergs are super stable because 90% of their bulk is hidden underneath. This is why they're so deadly for ships that are passing by. However, when an iceberg breaks off from the edge of a glacier, its irregular shape could cause it to sway or even flip. These climbers added just enough weight to throw off the balance and cause it to flip. Luckily, they got out of the way.
Yeah, they got lucky.
This slippery sucker is called a Nyan-Gri. Not normally a fast being. In fact, they're known for being kind of sluggish. But as you can see here, this one in particular is sliding down this makeshift chute, I imagine as its own invention to perhaps attack
I ain't never seen that like
trespassers, if you will, such as this very cameraman who doesn't seem to be that scared. I don't understand why. These beings are also not unintelligent. They are not the brightest bulb in the box, however. They're about average intelligence to a human. So, you gotta be careful around these suckers. If they get you, just know that they'll get you. It'll be just as bad as you imagine it would be.
The mysteries that ancient Egyptians have left behind. The 24 stone coffins. Each coffin weighs about 100 tons and was transported by the ancient Egyptians to an artificial cave system located underground. The coffin located at this upper junction will reveal some truly incredible secrets. The passageways inside the cave are extremely narrow and challenging to navigate, making it difficult to transport or craft anything below. Yet these coffins remain as uncarved stone blocks, abandoned at this location. The lids of the coffins are also left behind at the entrance to the cave, indicating that these 24 coffins were brought in from outside as solid rock blocks. They had to pass through those small, narrow passages to reach the main chamber, where they would be fully crafted and properly positioned. What truly astonishes archaeologists is that once completed, these coffins display an extraordinary level of precision. They are all perfectly cut and polished, with perfectly square angles of 90 degrees. The inner surfaces are so smooth that they reflect like mirrors. It is baffling how they managed to achieve such sharp craftsmanship from solid rock. To create the hollow interior, they must have cut all 4 sides from top to bottom, and particularly, they had to cut the bottom inside the coffin. Yet somehow they accomplished this feat with exceptional sharpness, as if these coffins were products of a laser cutting machine.
Here are 5 things that your skin can tell you about your liver health. I'm a board-certified gastroenterologist, so follow me for more tips like this. The first is yellowing of the skin and eyes, which means that your liver can't get rid of bilirubin fast enough. And if it's deposited in your skin, it can cause intense itching that's not related to skin allergies. The next is spider angioma, which are superficial capillaries on the surface of the body. The next is redness on the surface of the palms that's due to estrogen not being broken down by a diseased liver. And finally, easy bruising that's due to low platelets and chronic liver disease.
Look at them tall men in black. What's going on with that?
In my 30 years of research, that the human race is indeed a hybrid race. The evidence is literally overwhelming. And if you dig into it and you study it and you evaluate it, seriously, you reach the same conclusions. Every major religious philosophy in our history, on every part of this planet, whether it's in Europe, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Hinduism, every major human religious endeavor has told the basic same story. The human race is a hybrid race. We have been created here. We were seeded here. And we have been genetically manipulated here from the very beginning of our recorded history. And that genetic manipulation has never ceased. It is still going on, as Cecilia likes to say, even as we speak. So, I reached that conclusion, and I will not argue with anybody about it. I simply say to you, look at the evidence. Apparently, this seems to be what has happened. Several 100,000 years ago, an intelligent race from somewhere else out there came by the planet, knew of the planet, stopped at the planet, and found a developing form of life here. Now, there are theories that the original seeding itself was done by an intelligent race from other places. But some of the theories have stated that this advanced intelligence was on an excursion, a trip, and they stopped off here and found a developing form of life and decided to manipulate that developing form of life into a higher form. And they've been involved in that off and on, but continually, for at least 100,000 years. When I studied anthropology some years ago, I always wondered why poor old Neanderthal suddenly disappeared in terms of time, a few centuries. And this new form, completely new form, which we call Cro-Magnon, appeared. What happened to poor old Neanderthal? Who is Cro-Magnon? Well, look around the room. You'll see Cro-Magnon here right today. But in terms of geology, in terms of anthropology, in terms of evolutionary theory, none of that seemed to make a lot of sense. You don't have evolution working that fast. Then there were other little curious things taking place. Why, about 5,000 BC in Sumer, did all kinds of things happen at once? A literal eruption of civilization taking place in the Euphrates and Tigris and Euphrates valleys. I mean, civilization blossomed and bloomed almost overnight. The people were taught, or they learned, agriculture, irrigation. They built cities. They knew how to plant farms. They knew how to harvest. They knew how to develop intricate governmental systems. They developed a military idea. They developed a very intricate theological and philosophical philosophy. And where did this all happen? Why did it all happen literally overnight? Well, Zecharia Sitchin, in his absolutely monumental work.
Speaking of Zecharia Sitchin, let me show y'all something real quick. We got the whole Sitchin collection here, you hear me? So he ain't speaking nothing select to a can of oil right now, that's all I'm saying.
Clearly has the answer. In the great Sumerian tablets, in the cuneiform tablets, which preserve the complete history of the Sumerian people, the evidence is all there. Sitchin is probably one of about 10 people on the planet who can sit down and read cuneiform tablets like you and I read the morning paper. The Sumerians told us how it happened, how it came to be, where they got the knowledge, who taught them the knowledge. And this fits, and I tell you it does, fit perfectly with every other story, myth, legend, history of every people on this entire planet. The human race is a hybrid. We were seeded here, and we have had what I like to call an intimate interrelationship with high technology, advanced intelligence, for hundreds of thousands of years. Now, the crucial thing is it is still going on. It hasn't stopped. They are still involved. The question has been, for many of us, is who the hell are they and what are they doing with us? Which ties in perfectly with the ancient philosophical questions that each and every one of us has asked. Who are we? Who are we? How did we come to be here? What are we here for? And where are we going? And this is, if you remember from your own teachings, education, in school or church, the basic questions that human beings have been asking since the beginning. Who we are, why we're here, and what's going on. Well, my commitment to this thing has been growing over the years, and I will tell you that I'm involved in it, I'm committed to it, because I think that time is running out. I don't think it's going to be much longer before you see most of the answers. And the reason I share that with you is that I'm not trying to frighten you. And I'm not trying to preach or proselytize. I'm not trying to lead you in any direction. But I'm trying to say to you that in the next very few short years, you're going to be seeing things and you're going to be experiencing things that are going to literally change your life in ways you have never dreamed or imagined. You are going to learn who you are. You're going to find out why you're here. And you're going to find out where you're going.
So, he keeps bringing up the human race, right? But I want to ask you guys something. Is there a difference between human, man, and mankind? Think about that for a minute. Because I think they're all different, in all honesty. Dang. Oh, nah. All this plane stuff, man. I do not want to get on the plane, but I feel like I'm going to have to here soon. Okay, minor.
What's the real story behind the Conjuring House? What's the actual story?
So, yeah, the movie story is like this witch, Bathsheba or whatever. But the actual story, there's a bunch of different things that they say are haunted, but it's actually built on the grounds of the...
Is that the house?
That's it. Yeah, it's cool creepy. House. It's an amazing house.
So what's the original story?
So the most famous we'll get to, but like it's built on the same grounds that the King Philip's War was fought on, like right at the beginning of the United States and everything. So the main people that haunt that are like 7 dead soldiers that this little girl always kept seeing in the walls, and thus it started manifesting more to the entire family. So this family called the Perrin family bought the place in like 1972, and for 10 years they said they would see, you know, these figures, these soldiers walking around, like their beds would shake, they would get scratches, like, and it kept getting worse over the 10 years. And the crazy part is it got to become famous because of like the final day that like changed it all. They wanted to do like an exorcism on the house because I think, who was the mom Perrin? Whatever.
Caroline or something?
Carolyn Perrin. Yeah, Carolyn Perrin was getting like really bad. Like she would have things happen to her every single day. You know, furniture would move, all these sort of things. She was getting like really rash with everything. So she brought in these demonologists to her.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Ed and Lorraine
if you've
Warren.
heard of them before. They're like the
Terrific crash National Airlines Flight 102.
Look, all this plane stuff, y'all. Look at that nigga turning around about to fall. And that plane wasn't even that high.
Right? Yeah. Basically, this story is called The Hole to Hell. So it starts off with this guy. His name is Mel Waters. He has land in Washington, right? His land is pretty big, bro. Like fucking terrenos type shit, right? And on his property, bro, he ends up finding a hole. And a bunch of locals throw a bunch of shit in there. Old, like, technology, refrigerators, shit that doesn't work, garbage, dead animals, whatever. He tried to find out how deep it was, right? Okay. So what he did was he took a fishing line and he took a weight. He threw the weight down with the fishing line. And he said that it didn't even touch the floor. And guess how deep he reached, though? He reached 80,000 feet without touching the floor.
How long was the fish?
That's how much string he bought, though. He bought mad fucking string, like boom, boom.
80,000 feet is long, bro. That's big. Hey, yo.
As usual, I brought the dogs with me. They wouldn't go anywhere near the damn thing, and if I try to bring them there on a leash, they'll just dig their feet, and they do not want to go anywhere near the hole.
But the thing is, that makes this whole shit even weirder, bro. After radio station aired and shit, Mel Waters didn't live there anymore.
What do you mean?
People are saying that the government, he said it himself as well, because he called again. He's saying that basically the government approached him. They offered him an X amount of money to stop talking about what he was talking about and to move, and that they were going to buy the land and they were going to occupy the land now.
And did they do that?
They did that because in 2012, some guy named Gerald Osborne, who's like a local of the town, he ended up trying to find the fucking hole because he was trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
So that he couldn't go anywhere near it, bro. Like, that shit was blocked off and it was a military base.
All the time. She's not lonely. That's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Breaking astronomy news. NASA has just discovered an asteroid that could hit the Earth on Valentine's.
Look at the dog's head move and smile. And it smile.
Let's talk about one of the most insane series ever released, Wrong Turn.
Yo,
These
this
movies started being
crazy.
released in 2003 and have gone all the way on until 2021.
I haven't seen 2 or 3, but the first one, wild. That's all I'm gonna say.
I would generalize these movies as like a cannibalistic slasher, more or less being based on 1970s savagery cinema, where the premise of the movie is actually pretty simple. It's usually a group of friends or a group of people who get lost in the woods. Their car breaks down, or they're just camping, or they're just hanging out. Everything's fine until one friend decides to go off and use the bathroom or just disappears out of nowhere. And most of the time they're getting caught up in some kind of trap. I unfortunately can't show you any of the traps because these movies are extremely gory, but trust me, they are very, very reminiscent to like Saw movies. But as the group continues and more or less forgets about their friend or has no idea where they are, they run into them. Them as in these cannibals. It's usually a group of 5 or 6 family members who literally just go around hunting people for fun. And once they get you down with a shot of an arrow or in some kind of trap, they're more or less going to eat you. And they show it in these films. These movies get absolutely insane. As I said, they're very reminiscent to Saw with a cannibalistic, like, twist. So if you enjoy movies that have to do with either cannibals or people being hunted, kind of like Hunger Games, but then being eaten, and not really having any other kind of backstory because you obviously can't get attached to any of the characters for more than 15 minutes, then I would definitely suggest you guys checking out any of the Wrong Turn movies. As I said, they came out in 2003 and all the way till 2021. I've seen all of them and they are actually insane and probably will make sure that you don't ever go camping or go in the middle of the woods anytime soon.
Facts.
Alright, y'all, so
not gonna lie, that's probably why I don't go camping now. Or I don't want to go camping. I don't want to go nowhere in the woods. Man, I seen that movie. These mubs took the wrong turn and it was over with. Oh my God. That movie was crazy, y'all. I'm having flashbacks right now just thinking about it.
if you were born in the early 2000s, then 9 times out of 10, you know what the elevator game is. Now, if you don't know what it is, it's a game where you hop into an elevator and click on a bunch of different floor levels, and then when you get to a certain floor, there's a lady that's supposed to hop on, you're not supposed to look at her. If you do, you die. It's a lot of crazy shit. Now, you're probably wondering, why the fuck is Evan Solo, the horror movie guy, talking about a fucking game people used to play like 10 years ago? Well, it's because on August 11th, we are getting a brand new horror movie about this game, and I'm not gonna lie, I just watched the trailer, and the trailer looked pretty good. The film is called The Elevator Game, and the movie follows a group of friends who try to attempt the elevator game and upload it to social media. But during the game, things go wrong, and I mean very fucking wrong.
Oh shit, here we go again.
A dreadful presence begins stalking each member of the group, and in order to get rid of it, they must finish the game properly. The film's set to release on August 11th, but it's not going to be getting a theatrical release, it's only going to be releasing on Shudder. So if you guys want to watch this shit in the comfort of your own home, you can do that. But me personally, I swear, Thor just don't want to see me win, bro. Fuck this video, bro. Hey, Thor, hold this shit, bro. Bring
the movie.
Hey, it comes out in 2 days, y'all. 2 days. Y'all gonna watch it? You know what? I think I might watch it. I'm gonna watch it for sure. Y'all gonna watch it with me? Let me know.
Frozen actually hides dark secrets of Disney. It was rumored that after Walt Disney died, his body was cryogenically frozen and buried under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disneyland. Disney had a lifelong obsession with cryogenics and hoped that someday, when the technology will be more advanced, his consciousness could be reawakened and he could see the future. It's rumored that a park employee posted a picture of Walt Disney's frozen body online, and Disney made the movie Frozen to make it all go away by altering Google's search algorithm so that people who search for the keywords Disney and Frozen will be redirected to the searches related to the movie and will never find Walt Disney's frozen body. And now you know that.
The creepiest things caught on camera. My twin cousin just died in the living room. Join the Discord. This is what happens when you don't lock up your basement door.
What is this?
If you see this, I'd recommend that you buy the atomic bomb. I believe my homeboy Oppenheimer still makes.
Of course, I could put the Saw movies in chronological order, starting with Saw 4. All of the questions are answered starting out with the whole entire movie. You have questions answered like who's the killer, why are they killing, and pretty much their backstory on becoming a serial killer. And then of course it leads into the other movies, but it gives us that little itch, that little backstory of knowing why everything's going the way it's going and why these people are actually dying. The next part is Jigsaw. Well, at least half of it. There are 2 time frames in this movie. We're only going to be using one of them for now. This is also the first movie where we've seen Jigsaw, making it a great starting point. All of the other movies are also based 10 years after Jigsaw's death, so this is a spot we need. Up next is Saw. Released in 2004, this movie is absolutely insane, but we find something pretty odd that goes on in this movie. We find out that Jigsaw is actually one of the 2 men in the bathroom. And I just don't want to spoil any more of this. Up next is Saw 2, picking up exactly where Saw ended in the aftermath of everything. And this movie is known for some of the most insane death scenes. Premise of this movie, everyone has a number on the back of their head. They are all their own key to getting out of there. And let's just say, shit gets crazy.
Hey, it definitely gets crazy, y'all. Man, I watched Saw 1, I watched Saw 2. I might have watched Saw 3, I'm not sure. But after that, I was done. I'm like, you know what? I can't keep watching these Saw movies because every time I wake up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I think I'm finna get snatched up by somebody and end up with, you know, a key in the back of my head or something, or in my eye socket or in my stomach. And man, look, the movies are just crazy, y'all.
Up next is Saw 3. This is the movie where Jigsaw dies. You could technically watch this before watching the original Saw just for a little bit more backstory, but it's still okay. You can watch it how I'm telling you. Then you have Saw 5, which picks up right where Saw 3 ended. Jigsaw's dead, Amanda's dead. There are a ton of significant moments in this movie. Then you have Saw 6, picking up exactly where Saw 5 ended. I do enjoy the fact that these do go kind of in order when watching them, how I'm saying. You kind of get that pieces that you're missing as soon as the other movie starts. Then you have Saw the Final Chapter 3D, which picks up right where Saw ended, the first one. Then you have the other portion of Jigsaw. You know, when I said that we were only using one part before? Yeah, this is where the second part kicks in. Alleviates a ton of pressure and really lets us know what's actually going on. Then finally you have Spiral from the Book of Saw. But it is the end as of now, up until of course Saw X, which is going to be taking place in between 2 and 3. And as I said yesterday, Saw X should be taking place in between 2 and 3. Everyone's telling me 1 and 2. All I've seen online is 2 and 3. So, yeah. Comment down below what movie you want me to do.
3 ways
so
to
many
survive
Saw movies.
Art the Clown. Number 1. Unalive anybody and everyone who's been in contact with Art the Clown, such as the Mauled Woman. Seems as though Art the Clown is more or less an entity like Freddy, feeding off of fear, and the Mauled Woman being alive and being able to constantly regenerate heads as we've seen in the film. Unaliving her more or less eliminates anybody who's continuing to pass on the spirit and the fear of Art the Clown. Number 2. Make sure you have the sword that Sienna had at the end of Terrifier 2. As I just said, he more or less cannot die. He is an entity. He is brought back by powers such as Freddy Krueger. So therefore, you're going to need the sword, and also in conjunction with the sword. And number 3, you're gonna need the book that Sienna's dad left behind. He more or less depicted everything that's already happened in the first Terrifier and the second Terrifier, including the death scenes. So in my opinion, he already knew and depicted everything that was going to happen in more or less the creation of Art the Clown. So you're going to need, in conjunction with the sword, you're going to need the book, because the book has to be able to tell you how to fully get rid of Art the Clown. And as I said before you even think that you're able to unalive Art the Clown and get rid of him forever, you're going to have to get rid of every other person that is constantly pushing his terror, such as the dismembered woman. And those.
So then what's the scariest animatronic?
Well, the creator of FNAF already said it's Bonnie.
Bonnie's just a bunny.
Yeah, but the Bonnie that he describes is different. He had a dream about a mysterious animatronic that stood outside his bedroom. He said it had no eyes and ripped torn skin. He says he felt his heart racing as he stumbled out of bed to push his door closed. However, the sound of footsteps was growing louder in the hallway. As it grew louder, the door opened.
Oh no.
Is this a real story?
It actually is. They call it animatronic that's even more disturbing.
What could be more disturbing?
They're called the Twist Ones, and they're designed to hunt. They not only have more teeth, but they look distorted. Their goal is to absorb and harvest souls.
Why haven't they added them to the game yet?
So it's possible. Fans are saying there's gonna be another DLC expansion. We know this because at the end credits, there's a secret dialogue. Roxy says Cassie's name.
Cassie.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means two things. Roxy and Cassie are really close friends. We know this because she was the only one that showed up to Cassie's birthday.
Your special day. I remember. Your special day.
But isn't Roxy trying to kill Gregory?
Well, remember, the animatronics are programmed for security. They're trying to stop Gregory from roaming around. We know that Roxy is good. She remembers Cassie before she gets deactivated.
I remember because you are number one. Twice.
Then later in the game, we even see Roxy save Cassie from the mimic.
Have you ever wondered why this...
I've never played FNAF, right? But I want to. I really want to. And I think I might do that because my son played the game and knows more about it than me. He's only 10 years old. So I definitely might play that game.
State of Oklahoma has that little section that looks like a panhandle? Well, if so, you're about to find out. Okay, so this strip of land used to be one of the most violent places in the United States, where all crime was completely legal. The Panhandle used to be a part of Texas until 1820 when the Missouri Compromise was signed.
Yo, is that why they call it panhandling? Wow. I never knew. Never knew. That's crazy.
Making slavery illegal north of the 36.5 parallel, forcing Texas to give up their land, but the Kansas-Nebraska Act established their land just north of the 37th parallel, leaving a 34-mile gap between Texas and Kansas. And for 40 years, this strip of land was known as No Man's Land, and didn't really attract the frontier's best people. Violence and crime completely ran No Man's Land, and the one town that thrived in No Man's Land was actually called Beer City. There was a constant rotation of different cowboys coming from all different plains, going to different saloons to get beer, since the United States was in this prohibition period. Beer City was eventually put to an end after it became too great, and the United States decided that this land needed to belong to somebody, and they picked Oklahoma.
This liminal space horror game actually has a sad backstory. Let's talk about the free horror game, Ocean View Mall. Full playthrough of the entire game right here. The story of Ocean View Mall centers around a busy businessman and his son. You see a clip of him showing up late to his son's birthday party again, but at least he brought an expensive gift. You explore a mall that will likely feel familiar to all of us, but at the same time, the more you explore, the more you realize that something is off. Then you head into the mall's toy store and you learn more of the story. The father is so busy with work that he has no time for his son, but in his mind, he has to make the most money for the family. And the game shows us this through his own personal version of the back rooms in the toy store. Even their neighborhood is recreated here. They have the biggest house in the neighborhood. They make more money than any other family. But is he happy? Is his son happy?
So we've all heard of the scary movie Veronica, right? Well, did you know that Veronica is actually based off of a true story, and it's much scarier than the movie. This is Estefania Lazaro. Sorry if I said that wrong. She and her friends decided it would be a good idea to play with a Ouija board at school one day. Her friends reported that
Can't be messing with them Ouija boards, man. Like, for real. I don't know when people gonna learn. I just don't know. I don't know you gotta watch the movie Jumanji or what, but you cannot mess with no Ouija board.
when they were playing with the Ouija board, smoke started to emanate from the board, and Estefania breathed it in. After they played with the Ouija board just this one time, Estefania started complaining about seeing and hearing things that weren't really there. She started to have random outbursts of violence and began to get physically ill. Doctors could find no reasoning for her sudden illnesses. It seemed as though Estefania was possessed. It continued to get worse and worse until one day Estefania had a sudden onset of catalepsy. She was rushed to the hospital where she passed away and an autopsy was conducted, but doctors found no reason why she would pass away. It said that Estefania died from demonic possession.
Here's part 2 of spoilers for The Devil's Doorway. Considering that all of the Virgin Mary statues are now bleeding out their eyeballs, they're able to collect a lot of samples. And all of the samples lead back to one person, a pregnant female with the blood type O negative. They inform the Mother Superior that everyone needs to be tested, nuns and patients alike. Privately, a nun takes Father Thomas aside and says, "I was the one who reported this miracle to the bishop." She tells him that there is evil in this place and tells him that there is this woman named Kathleen who's being held privately in the basement in terrible conditions. The priests demand to see her, and when they arrive at her room, it is absolutely horrifying. She's emaciated, covered in filth and scratches and scars, and chained to a wall. The Mother Superior tells them that she's pregnant and they order for her to be released. But this bitch only makes it to the hallway before she starts attacking nuns. When they take her back to her room, she starts saying, "I didn't do it, somebody else did," and speaking in ancient Greek. Father Thomas asks to lead her in prayer, and the nuns say no, absolutely no way, but he does it anyway. And after he does, one of the nuns starts screaming, and she's turned into Bendy Wendy, and she's contorting into these terrible positions, and her bones are cracking and breaking. But Father Thomas has had one too many Blood of Christ shots, so he says, "I don't think she's possessed." That night, once again, Father John is woken by the sounds of children, but now there's really loud banging, and suddenly Father Thomas appears at his door. Surprise! All the statues of the Virgin Mary have been broken. Fortunately, one of the ghost kids also appears to Father Thomas though, so they follow it into the basement, into this one room, and they discover that there is this satanic temple set up. They go to Mother Superior to show her the room, and oddly enough, it's the middle of the night and she's fully dressed. So she follows them down the stairs, and the room is completely empty now. Suddenly, they hear Kathleen screaming, and when they find her, she is stabbing her belly. The next morning, they call a doctor, and he gives Kathleen an exam and determines that she is intact, or still a virgin. He also says that, she's been starved of food for a long time, she's very weak, she's very feeble, and she's probably not going to survive labor. And then he suggests a lobotomy to calm her down, because, a lobotomy a day keeps the devil away. They go back to visit her, and this time she starts levitating and human combusting, so obviously she is possessed. But once she calms down, the two fathers start discussing, and Father Thomas has this revelation that he thinks he was born there because of something she said to him in Greek. She then says that her and Father Thomas are being held in limbo, and that the children and babies were killed by them, and that they're now suffering for the sins of others. In part 3, Father Tom is going to confront Mother Superior.
The Devil's Doorway. Has anyone else heard of that movie before? I've never heard of it. I didn't even know what it was when she started explaining. I think I want to watch that now. That one seems a little bit... It's kind of creepy and kind of cool. What is this? Now, okay, who just goes outside and takes pictures with a flash? Just random pictures. Something gonna pop up, y'all. You hear that? No way.
This is Mandy, and she is a haunted doll that scared her owner into just donating her to a museum.
We mess
So
with them
Mandy here
dolls.
is an antique doll, as you can tell. She was made in the 1920s, and her first owner, that I can find on the internet, received her, I think, in 1991. But then she quickly got rid of her. So she was so afraid of her, she had an experience that made her just donate her to the Quesnel and District Museum here in Canada. And that is where Mandy resides today. And apparently she causes some trouble. But you may be asking what got her into that museum. One night, the owner was woken up by extremely loud cries of a baby that were coming from the basement where the doll had been left. And obviously there was no baby in this house. Apparently she had heard it for hours before she decided to go down and see what was happening. She's brave, because I would have been out of that house. Okay, so get this. She goes downstairs to figure out what is happening, and Mandy is missing. She's not there. Okay? But the thing is, the next morning, she's back. She was like, hell no. And so she took her and brought her to the museum. And I read that almost immediately after she had been placed in front of the door, the staff members started reporting that things were going missing, only to show up neatly tucked in random drawers later. Eventually, they moved Mandy to a more private part of the museum, away from the other dolls that she was with, because apparently she was toppling them over. Staff Staff also said that she would harm the other dolls. So apparently when people go to see her, various batteries are drained completely in the presence of this doll. And one guest even claims that Mandy caused the light on her camera to go on and off every 5 seconds. And then once she left the room, it stopped. People say that Mandy's eyes follow them around the room. And like, I feel like that's pretty common with like dolls and pictures, but who knows? But some people have claimed that she has blinked when they were looking at her. And also it's said that she sometimes moves around to other displays. I believe that you can still go visit Mandy at the museum that I mentioned earlier, which is pretty cool. I feel like we don't hear of a lot of them in Canada.
Nah, we good. We ain't going to see Mandy. Mandy can stay where she at.
Would you go visit Mandy?
Nope.
Anyways, thanks for being here. I'm back with my Haunted Doll series. I have a few more to post. I just keep on finding them. They just keep on interesting me. If you know about any others, you let me know, and I will see you in my next video.
Adios,
Bye-bye.
Mandy.
Could the government be concealing an entire civilization from us? There are claims about the Tartarians, an ancient civilization believed to have discovered the secret to unlimited energy. This breakthrough allowed the Tartarians to make remarkable advancements, as their citizens were able to express their creativity without the burden of work, resulting in numerous groundbreaking inventions and magnificent architectural feats. Unfortunately, a powerful global organization that monopolized energy production and profited from it saw the Tartarians' free energy as a threat to their control. They vigorously campaigned against Tartaria, fearing that free energy would undermine their authority. Consequently, this organization systematically dismantled Tartaria, wiping their existence from our historical records and presenting Tartaria as a non-existent civilization. However, if one carefully examines the evidence, remnants of Tartaria can still be found in ancient maps and architectural wonders across the globe. Structures like the Taj Mahal, the Great Wall of China, and the Egyptian pyramids exhibit an exceptional level of sophistication that challenges the conventional narrative of their respective nations' capabilities. These structures share common design themes, which seem to be centered.
What's y'all thoughts on Tartaria or Tartaria or either one, whatever you want to, however you pronounce it? What's y'all thoughts? Y'all think that the world was inhabited by ancient Tartarians and they had their own one world order back then? Or was there somebody before the Tartarians? You know what I mean? Like, who's to say that they were the first to do it? That's just the, you know, like the latest that we know. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we go back, we're like, oh, we're finding all this stuff about Grand Tartaria, right? But who's to say that they didn't get their knowledge from a whole civilization prior to them as well? I'm not exactly sure, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.
Say whatever you want.
Okay, we remember this, y'all.
Die with them or not. I'm not going to. Bye.
He said bye. Oh, look at this. It's a little gray. They done brought the little grays out to public. Whoa. What's going on? Okay, now we seen these people, these tall mugs. Oh snap, what happened to her eye? Mo wouldn't even open. Yeah, some crazy stuff going on out here. Yo, that's clearly a person.
Just walking down the trail, me, Gavin, and Greg. Say what's up, Gavin. Here's Greg. What's up, Greg?
Whoa, look at that. That's a person. That's Groot.
He's the quiet type. We can't get him to talk. Ah, we know you, Greg. We know you. We know you.
That ain't Greg, that's Groot.
Alright, going randonauting. And it took us to this shady park in the middle of nowhere, so let's see what we find. All we see so far is like trees, a bridge. I think we have to go over this bridge, and our location's a little down there. What the fuck?
Oh no, look at that.
Oh, what the fuck? Should we keep going?
No.
What the fuck? Oh my god, is she following us?
Oh, bruh. I jumped so hard, I messed my back up.
Okay, I don't want to sound crazy. I really don't. But I don't know if anybody else feels the way that I do or if I'm just crazy as shit. But it's too much, y'all. It's literally too much. That's why I've been wearing this scarf on my head for the last month, because I'm tired. I don't want to do it no more.
My bad, y'all. My nose sweating and everything from that last jump. I don't know why I thought it was going to come out and get me or something. Whew.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get the hell off this earth and never come back. I've been fucking tired since 2020. It seemed like ever since COVID happened and they shut the whole fucking world down, which that's another subject for another time, but you know you got to be a powerful motherfucker to be able to shut the whole entire fucking world down and fuck everything up. Fuck it up more than it already is. But I feel like it's been like a big ass shift and nobody noticed it. Like, it's too much going on and I can't keep up no more, and I'm tired of keeping up, honestly. You got the fucking lady seeing shit on the airplane, seeing a person that ain't real. Right. You got motherfucking the president of the United States getting kicked the fuck out the office and getting his house raided. You got COVID, big ass virus, everybody dying. Everybody arguing about the real woman and not real and cis and oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
These motherfuckers digging up statues, finding ancient Egyptian statues. These motherfuckers talking about we getting visits from aliens, which them motherfuckers is not aliens, and they know it. They know it. I don't give a fuck. Call me a conspiracy theorist. And fake meat, fake food. You don't even know what to eat nowadays because you don't know what's real and what's not, and what's gonna knock your ass over and kill you. Y'all, I cannot. You got motherfuckers talking about a big ass blackout that's gonna happen, and you sit there and wait for that. How the fuck are we supposed to live life with all this shit going on? You got CGI and robots that you could talk to now that could create anything for you. Fake ass images. You don't know what's real and what's fake. Y'all, I don't know what to say no more, but I'm fucking tired. I'm tired. I'm done. I throw the fucking towel in. I'm done. What are we gonna do? And the only thing that I could think is, what the fuck is 2024 gonna bring? Because it seemed like this the real fucking movie and ain't no way out. We in the real fucking movie, and the only difference is this shit ain't fake. This shit real as fuck. And
Yo, I feel her on that. Although I'm not throwing in no towel though.
The Bluebeam Project marks the beginning of total population control. This delusional project.
If you know, you know.
You know.
So Project Bluebeam has been known for a while, back with Bill Cooper, William Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse. It's been known in the conspiracy communities for a long time. So here's my theory. And again, this is a theory of some random guy on TikTok, so take it with the biggest grain of salt there is. Project Bluebeam is ready to go. They've been getting the alien disclosure predictive programming in the minds of the masses.
Yeah.
The aliens are real. They've been telling us and warning us about a cyber pandemic, the WEF, power outages, EMP, solar flare, blackouts, 3 days of darkness, right? Okay. No, it connects. Also, we have the cryptocurrency, CBDCs, 15-minute cities, right? That comes in later. So Project Bluebeam is ready to go, waiting for the catching up, the harpazo, the rapture. When that happens, immediately Project Bluebeam goes into effect. Fake alien invasion, but at that same time, that is when you have the cyber pandemic, the power outages, the EMP, solar flare, whatever. They may blame it on the aliens, I don't know. But the aliens. This is how they will control information, because once all the Christians are gone through this alien abduction, if there's no internet, people will not be able to communicate and realize, wait, only the Christians are gone? They will see some people gone, and they'll, within the communities, they might put 2 and 2 together, some people, but a lot of the masses will be freaking out, killing each other, looting, going crazy because people are missing. There's no internet, there's no power, their money is useless now, and no one's coming to help them because this is the purge. Or there needs to be a mass culling For the Great Reset, the Antichrist beast system to work, it's easier to control a small group of people who also are desperate and trying to just survive. So, Rapture, boom, fake alien invasion through Project Bluebeam, power outages, cyber pandemic, wiping the entire system. It's over. Great Reset, WEF, the whole thing they've been preparing for. They will destroy the old system, order out of chaos, if you understand that whole occult. Order out of chaos, right? Freemasons know what they're talking about. They will rebuild the Phoenix, the Antichrist, from the ashes of this huge event that a lot of people are going to die. A lot of people. But this is how they will have their Antichrist beast system that will go online in the future once they have their group of people to then implement the CBDCs, the chips, the microchip, right? The beast, mark of the beast, to then be part of society. And if you don't comply with that, you are out of society. And you already see how they've been conditioning people with the UBI, Universal Basic Income, through the stimulus package with COVID. COVID was an entire preparation of the mind for people. It was a initiation. It was a occultic ritual, getting into a new identity, because they stripped identity of the individual, putting the mask on, isolating them, just like any type of fraternity or sorority initiation or secret society initiation. So as a society, we were initiated, getting ready for the real thing, to be part of this beast system for the people that are still here. But now you need to comply. This is where they will have the 15-minute smart cities, the cryptocurrency CBDCs. And because they've had you conditioned to take free money from the government through COVID, they will give you free money to survive if you take the mark of the beast, if you take this chip, if you become part of their system. But we need to remember, this is just the foundation and the mechanics, the cogs of the machine of the beast system that will be ran by the lawless one. He will come in to save the day at a certain time when people are in this chaos. They are struggling. The whole old world has been destroyed. No more power, no more water. Everything is wiped. The Great Reset. Now, with this whole system laid down underneath, the Antichrist can rise, and it will have something to do with the alien technology from the aliens that came, but it will be fallen angel, demonic technology, which they've been doing since the 40s with Aleister Crowley and the whole NASA organization of doing the whole occult. That's how they got all this stuff. They're very open with it, guys. Do some research. They're open with the demonic and how they get this information. We were humans with a wheel and a horse and buggy for thousands of years, and out of nowhere, come on. Technology comes because of the fallen. They give us that technology. That is the sin, and knowing good and evil and having knowledge. The enemy will implement that knowledge to then win people over to his side, and that's what they do. That's what they do. They've been doing it forever. Go back to Nimrod. You go back to Egypt. You go back to any civilization that worshiped the other gods, the fallen angels, the watchers. So this Antichrist will be part fallen angel, demonic, right? And then AI has something to do with it, because the fallen angels, aliens, have been giving the technology of the AI, opening up portals in CERN, connecting to the occult that way. You're going to see all these deities coming through. Aleister Crowley would channel a certain deity, and that same deity speaks to other people. This is real. This is the spiritual war. And here's the thing. Satan's minions and soldiers are serious about it, but we have a lot of soldiers for Christ and Christians out there, children of God, not realizing who they are. And they need to understand who they are to start combating the enemy, because they take it serious, and we need to take it serious right now to help win people over before that beast system fully materializes. But back to the main point, people will be so broken and wanting a savior, they will see this man of lawlessness, but he will be promising amazing things and miracles. He will bring this new technology that is free energy. He will take care of poverty. He will give you whatever you want to get out of that system of just death and decay you're surviving for, and he will give you life. in the world and immortality because he wants to download the mind to the computer for...
I ain't gonna lie, bro got a lot of information, and he's going real left with it in a way. But if you kind of know, like you said at the beginning, if you know, you know, so you can kind of keep up. But guys, if this is a lot, I understand. Trust me, I understand.
You know, immortality. But this is going to be a very small group of people. This is going to be rich people in this system that survived the horrific apocalypse. And this is how the Mark of the Beast will also play in, because the Mark of the Beast will have something to do with connecting your consciousness to the hive mind, being one with the Antichrist. Just like we are one with Christ and we are sealed with this Holy Spirit, sealed for the day of redemption, Ephesians 4:30. Likewise, those individuals who take that Mark of the Beast, it's something to do with spiritual worship towards this deity, this man of lawlessness, that will have something to do with getting his eternal life. He gives eternal life. That's his promise of immortality through the brain being downloaded into a computer, something to do with the Mark of the Beast, going in the forehead, being connected forever. You don't have to worry about death, right? That is why the Mark of the Beast is you can't be saved from the Mark of the Beast. You are now a different creature. Just like born again believers are new creations, new creatures in Christ, and you can't undo that. This individual who takes the mark is a new creation for destruction, and we can't really grasp this. It's the metal and clay mixing. Ironic, I don't know what to think about that with Daniel talking about the clay and metal. It doesn't mix because we're merging with machine. Transhumanism is what they're pushing. That's why the whole transgender thing is a real thing. That is just a slow progression of getting people ready to accept that. So with all that, it's a little rant, little thing about Project Bluebeam, which that was the beginning of the video, and tying it in the chain of events that will unfold with this conspiracy theory that I feel is going to happen. That is how I think the biblical system plays it out in Revelation, because the Antichrist will also have something to do with earth worship. Romans 1, the judgment of loving the creation over the creator. Gaia worship, that is the earth with the paganism. That is why you're seeing the ESG scores. Environmental, everything's about the environment. Humans are cancer. Exterminate them, allow nature to flourish, right? And the Antichrist will bring healing, and it's false. And that's how he's going to sucker people in. But with all that, I hope you enjoyed the little conspiracy rant. Again, just an opinion of some random TikToker. I love you guys all so much. God bless, and remember, the just shall live by faith.
Bro said a little TikTok rant.
It's time we talk about petrified giants turned into mountains.
All right, before we go any further, I have to give a disclaimer so this does not get taken
There's
down.
no way
This
that's
video was made strictly for entertainment purposes only. Nothing in this video should be considered factual. We simply point out patterns and things that we notice. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and say the whole damn video is scripted for entertainment purposes only, so basically it's a movie. All right, now that we've satisfied the guidelines, let's get into it. We had a friend join us for this video. Say hey, Jay. Hey. All right, today we're going to talk about petrified giants and the mountain ranges that they're trying to play them off as, because watch this video and tell me if you still think they're just mountain ranges, okay? Like this one, right here, look, right there, yeah. Tell me that's not a giant that's been petrified turned into a mountain, or a titan, or Anunnaki, or whatever the hell you want to call them. Yeah.
I need to know where that's at.
How about this one?
Okay, now that's
That's not an elephant to you? You don't see an elephant? How about here?
Clearly an
He's
elephant.
sleeping, laying down. Can you see? This next one looks like my man stopped for a rest, and then boom, petrified. All right, look here. You got face, 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 face. Don't tell me you can't see it. Don't even tell. I don't want to hear it. Looks like this couple was hugging in their last moments. What do you think? All right, and here we have a face with a human next to it for size comparison, okay? And yet another petrified giant.
Yo.
Another one. Another face. What do you think, Jay? You see a face? I see a face. Those are petrified mushrooms. What do you think, Jay? Petrified mushrooms? Yeah. And that looks like frickin' giant gorilla. I don't know, Harambe, whatever his name is. Another giant. Here we have two giant snakes, not one, but two. We got a giant hand, giant toes, giant petrified turtle or tortoise. Here's some more giant petrified toes with humans climbing in the cracks of the toes, just so you can see for side reference. What do you think, Jay?
Little
Those look like
toenail
toes to you?
fungus up there. That's the
They look
people.
like toes to
They the
you?
fungus.
Petrified rhino. Another petrified giant. Another one. All right, here, these top two, you can see giant snake, and then on the bottom, even his belly wrapping around. This horse was getting ready to drink some water, and then petrified.
I wonder what
Petrified
happened.
iguana. What do you think, Jay? You seen iguana? All right, and here we have a petrified giant tree stump. Yeah, check it out. This giant tree stump is 2.5 miles across. That means if it had grown to its like highest height that it could, it would have reached up to 10 miles in the sky. 10 miles! I'll let you judge what that is. I got children around, so I ain't gonna say it. Petrified giant elephant. Now, not only do the outsides of the mountains look exactly like petrified giants, but let's get to the insides of the mountains now.
Oh,
because these mountains, they're hollowing out, right?
That's that pink
But
salt.
look at what comes out of them. It's called pink Himalayan salt. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the past, I don't know, a couple years, you know what pink Himalayan salt is, right? It's all over the internet. And if you know anything about the genetic makeup of a human body, we are made of salt. Not all salt, but we have salt deposits in us. Now, go ahead and look at these caves hollowed out. Look. Tell me that don't look like flesh. Human flesh. These are crystal chunks that they've taken out.
This shit is coming to my mind right now, y'all, but like, has anyone seen the movie Ant-Man? Or, I mean, there's like 3 Ant-Man movies, and they're all pretty much the same. You know, the concept, he can get bigger or smaller, but he goes into the quantum verse, right? Or the quantum realm or world or whatever it's called. He gets smaller and smaller and smaller to get to that realm. And the smaller he gets, there's more and more worlds that he runs into. And when he gets to the smallest world, there's actually people there, right? What if that's what we're living in right now, you know? Where we got smaller and smaller and smaller, and then we're living in a quantum realm in a way.
Of those mountains. Looks like meat to me. How about here? What is that? Bacon? Nope. Crystals. Pretty sure that's some more bacon. Come on, man. You gonna tell me you don't see meat here for real? Look, this meat even has a fat layer. Like, you can't deny this shit. Like, you just can't. Even Jaden will tell you, it looks like meat, don't it, Jay?
That's crazy.
It's meat. Period. Yo, it even has bones and cartilage and shit. Like, what the fuck? Bro, come on. You gotta see it. If you can't see it, I can't help you, bro. So the government tries to tell us that a long time ago an asteroid came and wiped out all the dinosaurs, right? But what if it wasn't an asteroid, and what if it wasn't dinosaurs? What if it was giant beings and they got petrified instead of wiped out? All I know is those videos you see of those giant doors being shut and the locks all the way at the top, those videos make a hell of a lot more sense now. Tell them, Jay. Say make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to Mommy's channel so you get more videos like this, right? Bye!
So check it out, y'all. I really want to like research how things become petrified now, like if I'm able to reenact it, because I need to know the history behind this. Why did these giants get petrified? Is it because of the firmament was placed over us and they ran out of oxygen or something like that? I mean, because if you think about it, if you're a giant being like that, like you need a lot of oxygen. You know, just standing alone, you're going to be light of oxygen, and you're bigger than us. So it's like, I don't know, man. Something happened.
They tried telling us in the 80s.
Obey. Put them glasses on, you see everything. Wow. I need some of them glasses now. I think you can get infrared glasses, actually. There's a certain kind. I gotta see. Y'all, where can we get them glasses? We need them.
Route. But that one, no, that route bite back. that ain't no little boy route now. They the same thing you can do, the same thing that can do. I say, for real? He said, yeah, you need to think twice before you step in that route. But that one, no, that route bite back. that ain't no little boy route now. They the same thing you can do, the same thing that can do. I said, yeah, I've been thought twice. Yeah, fuck nigga, let's roll. Man, we ready going on.
See, we gonna stop, man. We gonna finna stop the conversation right there.
Yeah,
so then what Thug get to carrying on.
Nah, hell, no.
We ain't gonna do that. We gonna bring it back. We gonna bring it.
T.I. had to play his role as gatekeeper.
So I have a theory about the aliens that I believe in my soul so much so to be true that if I go missing after this video, that pretty much confirms it. But hear me out. Now, around what time period did UFO sightings become more and more prevalent in the United States? Around the late 1940s to the early to mid 1950s is when it really started to ramp up. Now, what countries have had the most UFO sightings over the course of the century? Countries on this top 10 list include United States, France, Japan, and China. Now, let's take it back to the 1950s. UFO sightings at this point are out of control, with a whole lump sum of them being pretty much in the southwestern region of the United States. But what also came to be in the mid-1950s in the southwestern region of the United States. Disneyland. Hear me out. What other countries also have Disney parks? France, China, and Japan. What if they're so technologically advanced that the one thing they are truly missing that they come to Earth for is culture? What if they literally come to Earth solely for fun? Think about it. What if they really just come here for vacation? Would that be so crazy? Maybe they're Disney adults. Maybe that's why people are seeing shapeshifters on planes. It's because I don't know. Or maybe Mickey Mouse just controls everything and wants to take over the world. I don't know. What do you think?
That's a good point right there. I ain't gonna lie.
Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs. For the first time, radar images recorded inside a Navy ship have confirmed the presence of several unknown objects that swarmed around the ship for hours. I-Team reporter George Knapp here with a story that broke today on Mystery Wire.
Thanks, Brian. Over the past 3 years or so, the public has been able to see several astounding images of what certainly qualify as UFOs during encounters with the U.S. Navy. There's no question that the Pentagon has censored data to go along with the photos and videos, but none of that information has been leaked or otherwise released. That is, until today.
For 2 long hours on the night of July 15, 2019, the crew of the USS Omaha detected on multiple sensor systems unknown objects that surrounded the ship as it moved through ocean waters west of San Diego. One of the objects, a self-illuminated sphere at least 6 feet in diameter, flew alongside the Omaha for an extended period and was observed through a thermal sensor in the ship's combat center. Filmmaker Jeremy Corbell released the Navy video weeks ago and says similar events were reported by 8 other Navy ships in the same area over 3 days.
Mark bearing and range.
There was numerous warships that are having similar it appears to be coordinated interaction, and this whole series was within this kind of, I'd say, circumference of 100 miles, and there was up to 50 to 100 contacts.
In the last 3 years, the Pentagon has reluctantly confirmed the legitimacy of UFO images captured by Navy ships and air crews, including these photos taken off the coast of Virginia and the better-known videos, the so-called Tic Tac incident and the gimbal. But other than the images themselves, there's been no release of sensor data to buttress these cases. There is now.
Well, if you can write a general lat long where we're at, and then the number of contacts you got, get the course of the speed meters on them.
Over a period of hours, crew members on the USS Omaha, which is located in the center of this radar screen, monitored the approach of the unknown objects, as many as 14 at one point, all around the ship. 2 different radar systems watched the objects and estimated their speed.
Track 781 just sped up to 46 knots, 50 knots, closing in. 138 knots. That one's pretty much perfectly 000 relative, right? Yeah.
Corbell obtained the images from sources he declines to identify. The Pentagon's UAP task force considers the Omaha spheres to be true unknowns. The ships that were under observation by the unknowns were unable to track where they came from or where they disappeared to. The Omaha sphere appears to have vanished into the ocean.
What was splashed?
At that point, it also vanished from all sensors. In one video snippet, 9 of the objects were seen around the Omaha, but 2 of them dropped off, somehow invisible to 2 radar systems.
And it supports the hypothesis that these are not just a balloon dropping into the water, or it's not something that is easily explained. These are true unidentifieds in mass number, and we'll talk more about that, but that's what we're showing people, where you have radar data that goes with FLIR data, what everybody has been belly aching for. So here you go.
If these are foreign-made high-tech drones, how do they fly with no wings, rotors, or detectable exhaust? Do they possess some sort of cloaking ability? The sensor data, combined with the video images, raises difficult questions.
These are unidentified. We don't know what they are. Everybody tries to corner me in saying they're aliens or something like this. I have no idea.
Maintain track as best you can.
George Knapp, 8 News Now.
The video of the radar.
Yeah, man, that's wild. These are some of the most creepy TikTok videos that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bell on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.